A special place for them to come back. When you talk to John Ram, golf is so integrated in the society, and that's fantastic. And he bought the land. His first decision was probably the opposite of what many promoters are thinking now. Here we have an asset that is they are the best in Europe, and in 3 months' time, we were hosting 20 minutes away a Solheim Cup, a Leaf Tour event in July, and in October it will be the DP World Tour across the street.
Welcome to another episode of Charlie's podcast. Today with me I've got Koska Orno, who is the general manager of the Real Club Sotogrande Golf Club. And with that, we will get straight into it. Welcome, Koska.
Thank you very much for the invitation, John.
First question I ask everyone is, how would you describe yourself to someone whom you've never met? How would you introduce yourself?
Okay, first of all, my name is Koska Orno, and I just arrived here in Sotogrande 4 years ago, and I can describe myself as a really passionate person in general, and obviously really passionate about what I'm doing here, and is everything related with the golf industry.
Okay. How did you get into golf in the first place? Was it as a young man, as a child?
Yes, I had the chance to grow up in the golf course, different golf course in where I started living in Zaragoza, in La Peñaza, and then very related with San Sebastian. My mom's from there. We have a house close to Jaizkibel.
It's a place with good food, no?
It's a very good food place, yeah. And that's where I really got into the golf. I grew up surrounded by Jose Maria Olazabal as obviously my reference, and a lot of golf pros that grew up with me in those times. And that's where I started very getting involved in the golf world, and then I have to decide what to study. And in those times, there were a few people who were going to the States to play golf and study. Right. And my mom is very open-minded, and obviously she said, Koska, this is your path. You have to follow it, and whatever you do, you need to be related with golf. Yeah. So I had the chance to go to South Carolina University and study there for 4 years and play golf. Okay.
And tell me, were you one of these people that wanted to be a pro? Because I know so many young kids that want to be pros, don't really make it because the very few make it, but then have a life in golf somehow.
Obviously, that was our dream. When you are surrounded by people like Olazabal, I just name it, and obviously that was our reference, and we wanted to do what they were doing.
Of course.
But right away, when you go to the States and you face the real world, because here in Spain we were very few players, very good players like Sergio, Gonzalo Fernández Castaño, but we were 10 of that, 10, no more than that. Once you go to the States, you really face a wall and say, I better study, because otherwise I'm not going to make a lot of money.
You're not going to make the cut.
No. So it was a very quick lesson.
Okay, so from the States, you obviously got your degree, and what was that, a golf management?
Yes, it was a business management related with a degree with the PGM program. Okay. It's a special degree in the States related with all the golf management areas. Yeah.
And then back to Spain, presumably.
Yes, right away I came back. I had an offer in a golf club, private golf club in Pamplona, close between just San Sebastian and Zaragoza, so it's perfect for me. And that's where I started the management experience when I was 22, 23.
Yeah. The degree in golf, as I am a lay person, and I know a little bit simply because I know somebody who wanted to do that. Yes. That goes into agronomy as well, greenkeeping. Yes. You do a bit of everything. Is it just F&B?
No, we have is focused. The three first years is mainly business management. You have all type of general business administration, and then as long as you go through the years, you get more involved and specialized in the golf club management industry, and that's everything related with the golf club, from F&B. Obviously you need to know about agronomy, merchandising, because we retail, because we have the pro shops, management, golf management academies, because we deal with pros and with golf academies. So you have an overview 360 degrees about what's everything related with the golf management. Obviously, being a player give you a lot of advance, because you already has a lot of knowledge without knowing it, actually.
Yeah. I funny enough, I played golf at the club with someone who'd just been to the Masters, and they said they'd gone into the shop in the Masters to buy some memorabilia. I'm going to get this wrong, but it was like $1 million an hour.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What was being spent? I mean, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I had a chance to go this year for the first time, so that was amazing. For one day, I took a plane on Thursday, come back on Saturday.
Okay.
But it was worth it. It was such an experience for somebody who's related with the golf industry. That's paradise, no? And obviously the way they were running the pro shop. The shop, because it's a shop, is amazing. I mean, it's so procedures and no waiting lines, and everything is so fast because there is so many people wanting to get every type of items, and well, you see that obviously there are expertise in that. I think the volume of sales they do during that week is crazy. You cannot buy it anything from Augusta anywhere else. So that's the week of the year where you can buy it.
And then it goes back on eBay. You know, people buy socks and put it on eBay.
That's it.
Incredible. Okay, so you're in Pamplona, and then what's your next progression?
I spent there 3 years being a golf director, because it was a big private club with a lot of activities. So I was focused mainly in golf. Obviously, I was coming with a golf degree, so that's why I was hired. I was 22.
Yes.
And it was a private course, private golf club. And after 3 years, I had the chance to go to Canary Islands, to Lanzarote.
Okay.
Yes, for almost 2 years, 1 year and a half, and it was fantastic. That was That was the proper manager, the direct manager there, and it was very good because I had the opportunity to see two different clubs, one private club and more commercial club.
Is that a new club in Lanzarote?
No, that was Costa Teguise. That was the old one. Then there is another one.
Okay.
There were Playa Blanca, but the one that I was working with was Costa Teguise Golf Club.
Okay.
And I spent 2 years there, 2.5 years. And then I got a call from a promoter company. One of the biggest promoter companies in Spain is Priconsa. They own an island in right on the border with Algarve in Ayamonte.
Okay.
It's the last municipality before crossing the bridge
Spain.
to Portugal. And they bought an island about 60 years ago. It was absolutely nothing there, just 8-9 kilometers of white sand, beach, amazing. Yeah. And they develop a golf resort, a touristic resort with 5 hotels, a golf club, a marina. It's a little bit like Sotogrande, but in the island.
Yeah. And how did you get on there? You have to go on a boat, or is that?
No, well, it was connected with a bridge directly to Ayamonte. So the island was called Isla Canela, and it's connected by a small bridge to Ayamonte. And that's a typical Andalusian village, amazing, and it was beautiful. And I spent there 15 years. I started as a golf director, and then it's a family company. And very quick, we get along very well, and they treat me as part of the family. I got a lot of support with them, and I grew up in the company scale till I was the general manager at the end, taking care of all the family, the hotels, promoters, and obviously the golf business was a little bit is the small thing, and it was just an asset in order to sell houses. So my daily work was in the promoter and hotelier business, and the golf was a little bit on the side. So I was missing that so much because I am more.
So then you came here.
I spent there 15 years, almost 16 years there. And then I got a call from Sotogrande telling me that the director that I knew very well, Agustin, was moving somewhere else to Puerta de Hierro, and they were opening a process of selection of trying to get a new general manager. And I say, well, I think this is is like the Real Madrid knock on your door, no? And say, obviously I wouldn't move somewhere else, but that was a big call, and I had the chance and the fortune that the board got his confidence and give me the opportunity.
Excellent. Did you know Sotogrande as a place then, or was it something that you heard of? Or?
Who doesn't know?
Well,
in the golf industry, everybody knows
of course,
Sotogrande. I play many times here. I knew how special as a place Sotogrande is. Completely different job that I was doing, because I was more in the cooperative management, general manager, and not anymore involved in the small details, because I was obviously in another scale. But obviously, if we go back where I come from the golf industry, and that was a train that was passing by in front of my door, and I say, if I don't get it, I don't know if we're gonna have another chance to be able to run a place like so complete and so different in every way.
Because golf in Sotogrande, I call it one of the pillars. Golf, you know. The other one is polo. Yeah. There's obviously the water, the marina, the boats, everything else, and in a funny way, the school. The school is a so. And you knew Sotogrande, the golf.
Yes.
Maybe less so the polo, maybe less so the marina, everything else. Before you came, and did you change your mind in terms of my question, how would you define Sotogrande before you came and now that you've been here for 4 years? Is there a change? Maybe
but Sotogrande changed a lot in the last 4 years already, even more. But obviously the pandemic, and I was involved in all the promoter development on the coastline, because I was working in charge of a touristic destination as Isla Canela, and we felt how fast those destinations were changing because of the pandemic. I'm talking now when I was general manager at Isla Canela. We were seeing that a lot of our clients, they were requesting refurbishing of their houses because they were coming to live here permanently. And that's when this opportunity arrived, obviously everybody had in mind that Sotogrande is very quiet during winter time. But we knew, because I was coming from that it was changing, and in the whole coastline in Spain. So. And that's, I think, this is what we are seeing right now. I mean, it was a boom, this type of resorts and destination after the pandemic grew up. A lot of families are living now permanently here. Working online helps a lot, and all, and obviously now that's what we are living. I live in El Polo, and as you know, is fantastic. The atmosphere. There is a bus stopping in front of the urbanization to take the kids to school. So it's absolutely changed from the Sotogrande that I knew 10 years ago when I was coming as a golfer or as a tourist. So very happy, and I think that's what we are living. Sotogrande is right now in the top
for sure
right now.
No, it's changed dramatically, and as you say, the pandemic was the one that really caused the critical mass. There are a number of other things that are happening, I think, and I talk about it all the time in terms of the Costa del Sol, and actually from the Algarve all the way up to Valencia. It's becoming more and more a place where people want to live because of the pandemic. You have working from home is all acceptable, and so on and so forth. So it's changing. Some people don't like it so much because they like it the way it was, but life is like that. You know, it just changes all the time. So getting into the club itself, what do you think sets Sotogrande Real Club apart from others? Philosophically maybe, but also the course and so on and so forth.
Well, I think we need to go back to the 60s when Joseph McMeekin tried to figure out what to do, and he had in mind to develop one of the toppest resorts in Europe, and he bought the land. His first decision was probably the opposite of what many promoters are thinking now. I'm going to build houses, and then wherever there is a spot, I'm going to put a golf course. He thought the other way. He hired one of the more expertise and prestigious golf designer as Robert Trent Jones, and he said, "This is the plot that I've got. This is the land. Choose where you want to do your ideal golf course, and from there, I'm going to start building and developing what is Sotogrande."
It's the American way.
It's the American way, but we are not used to that here in Spain.
No.
So this is. Obviously, that's where everything started, and the jewelry of Sotogrande was the center, and the core was the golf course.
Yeah.
And that's one of our biggest goals as manager and boards who are managing the golf course, is to remain and to maintain those values that Joseph McMeekin and the rest of the presidents of the club work on in the last 10 years, and I think, well, this is, if you start from the beginning with that strength, obviously the values that's where they are, and we need to make sure that to keep them alive, and it's easy to lose the focus. So it's in my opinion, obviously the designer of Robert Trent Jones being the first design in Europe, seeding the course with Bermuda for the first time, the first automatic irrigation system in Europe.
In Europe,
that was the first one. So
before everything was the hose.
Everything.
Wow.
So that's where you say something special was growing. It was that, and obviously. Besides that, everything started growing up. Valderrama arrived like Las Aves, and then Valderrama turns what Valderrama is right now, and so on. So, in my opinion, is obviously the core of Sotogrande.
You talk about the values, but the course belongs to the members.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to buy a share to become a member and everything else. So, and as a member, I have a vote. So and is that been changing, the philosophy of the member? Is that changed? Because you've got the traditionalists, and probably now into third generation of members, the people from the 60s, and then 20 years later, and then now we're 20 years later, so every 20 years, 25 years is a generation coming through. And people change. I mean, it's
that's natural.
It's my father would not accept things that maybe I want to do or my children want to do, because it's tradition.
Yeah.
Has that changed, or because I see it as really holding the values as you described?
That's something that really impressed me when I arrived for the first time in Sotogrande, and I knew, because once you step into the clubhouse, you say something special is going on. Same way at Valderrama, or when you go to Augusta, you say, "Wow, this is something," and I got goosebumps. It's woo. Obviously, the members took the course, the club, in 1978, 79. That's the big change when the members bought the club on their own. So, and that's where obviously everything was established, and say, okay, this is our course, this is what we want. Nothing around, whatever happens around us is going to change, and what we are and what we want. And in my opinion, the different boards that went through the years, they maintain those values, and we have the opportunity to work, myself, with the 15 members from the board, from different ages, different backgrounds. They know the Sotogrande history, they know the club history, and that's very, very, very important to the generations. The older generation tell the young generation who come to the board as members who are running the club, to tell them and to explain them why this is important to preserve, why we don't have to do this, why we have to take that path. And in my opinion, this is one of the biggest surprises that I've got coming from a business company that we were selling. This is not just selling.
It's the bottom line.
It's bottom line. I mean, this is what we are, and this is what we preserve, and that's why Sotogrande or Real Club de Golf Sotogrande is what it is today. So we need to make sure that to preserve those values.
I always think people talk about the golf club, but you can play croquet, you can play tennis. You do paddle. There's a swimming pool. There's a gym. So it's a country club.
It is.
It is not just a golf course.
No.
I come from Latin America originally, and my grandfather was involved in founding the Prince of Wales Country Club in Santiago, Chile. So the Prince of Wales Country Club is exactly what this. I mean, I was there last year, and it's changed quite dramatically, I would say, to the days when I was there as a child, and I don't remember it really as an adult because we left. And you have that, the tradition, the names on the board, those go back to public school in the UK. People used to have those up there. So the tradition is still there, and I think that is special because you don't have that in many places. So the philosophy has stayed. It's kept going, which is, I think, amazing. It's ranked number 2 in Spain, and I don't know which magazine says that. It could be. It's all very subjective.
Yes.
I always say it depends how much you pay. Particularly the ones that come up.
Yes.
But it's ranked number 2. How do you keep that ranking? Or how do you? Is it like a Michelin star restaurant where someone comes and inspects it and then does it, or is it just?
There are different rankings that you can look at. Obviously, some of them, you have some panelists who come once in a while time to play the golf, and they rate them. Obviously, depend of the impact that you, in a marketing point of view, you do, it puts you more into the first line. Right now, we just had the 2 DP World Tour events, and that gives us a lot of exposure into the golf industry. And obviously, the rank went up. We were not doing anything different that we were doing 5 years ago, but you have more exposure, you have more requests, you have more TV impact, and obviously that bring us the need to keep working more and more and get the quality higher and higher, because obviously the expectations that we generate are more and more every year. That's why, in my opinion, for example, when you took an example as Valderrama, it's a fantastic example how they grew a brand from golf tournaments, and that keep the level up and up year after year.
But the fact is that if tournaments are coming to the golf course, it's because someone is judging the golf course to be fit for a championship course.
Obviously, to have a stamp with the DP World Tour or World Cup or a Ryder Cup or a Solheim Cup, that means that you have a level, and just that sign, that stamp, it puts you in a different level than the other golf courses. Then the panelists arrive, they do their research, they do their checklist, and this is something that we don't control. But it's very nice to see the club as high as it is right now.
Sure. Sotogrande also has number 1, Valderrama, La Reserva. I've seen it at number 14, I've seen it at number 7, I've seen it, So we are in a very special place for what I call quality golf, where, today green fees are, a certain number, and we get into why they've gone up so much, and I think I have an idea of that. But the relationship between you and the other clubs, and maybe a little bit links now as well, because that's come up in Istanbul, San Roque, I'm not sure how you stand there. That's a very good niche, good neighbors to have, because it brings, when you go on holiday to play golf, you don't play 3 or 4 different ones. You don't want to play the same one all the time.
We are talking about destination. And that's what
Yeah, it's a destination. Your relationship is good.
Well, it's fantastic. First of all, from a personal point of view. I mean,
they're all good guys.
All the general managers, directors, we get along very well, and we help each other. I mean, we have the same problems, similar problems, and once that happens, you just have to hang up the phone, and there is somebody there to help.
Yeah.
And in a business point of view, obviously, as you said, Valderrama is better, Valderrama with Sotogrande next to it, and vice versa. And if we have right now a big hotel as Fairmont opening a few months ago, that's fantastic for the destination. So I come from a touristic background, and I know how tough it is to create a destination, because I come from Huelva, 15 years trying to build something special, and after 15 years, you can see how you change the touristic area. And obviously here we have an asset that is they are the best in Europe. And if you add this to our weather, our hotelier service, gastronomic experiences, it's tough to beat. And that's why. And going back to the rates, greenfield rates, our rates and greenfield rates are going up because we are touching different niche market that before it was tough to bring, but now from North America it's easy.
That's right. I was just about to say, is that because the US visitor actually found it cheap compared to...
You know how expensive it is to play in the US. And for them to pay 350, 400 euros is something normal. But it's not normal to pay 400 to see quality like ours. For them, it's surprising because they are used to pay more.
All right.
So obviously this is we are, and going back to the pandemic, obviously the golf industry after the pandemic, they generated the boom because everybody probably was the only sport they could do during those tough...
The first one anyway.
Yes.
Remember we had to carry on rake though.
Yes, but we did a good job from the different associations, and we worked very close together with ministries, sanitary ministries, and obviously we sell a good package of safety conditions to play our game, and that brought a lot of past golfers that they didn't play in some years, and they go back, and that's why all the golf clubs are so demanding right now from everybody.
Just a small interruption. I just wanted to give you a tip in terms of when you are selling your house in Sotogrande. When you do so, make sure your property stands out amongst all the properties that are sold, not only in Sotogrande but on the coast. So make sure you have very, very good marketing collateral. That means good photographs, means good plans, it means a good video. And make sure those are thrown out there to the entire world so that they can see your property. So make sure the property stands out, have excellent marketing collateral.
Right. The membership process that we have is what it is. Okay. You need to buy a share, and you need to obviously get your membership. Do you think people, because I sell houses, people ask me, how do you join? And I say, look, you have to have a share and you have to have a joining fee. But number one, you have to be approved. Okay, that's the key thing. Right? And I tell people, go apply, get approval, and then go and find a share. Yeah?
That's important.
That's the right order. Because otherwise you might be waiting a couple of years because of the high demand.
Yes.
Yeah?
And as you just mentioned, you just start saying that you need a share.
Yeah.
And everybody would think that they need a share to get approved, and that's not the case. You need, first of all, as you said, present your application, weigh the process and waiting list, because we have just one committee admission a year. Depends on the numbers of admissions and people who left the club the year before. The board take the decision how many new members will be approved for the actual year. So, and then once you are approved, we will request you to have a share under your name.
Yeah.
So little by little, and some applications, appliances, they buy a share before send their application, and then they get, how come I cannot get into the club having a share? So it's good to know that the best thing is come to the club directly, and we explain them directly the procedure, because it's not difficult, but I think is very important.
No, and I, I want to buy a house now in April. I want to play golf in September.
Obviously,
it doesn't work that way.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
And
Probably in the past, yes, and that's.
Well, there was a time. I mean, Augustine was around.
Yeah, that's why.
When I bought a share, I didn't. Charles, come on, come. And they please, because at the time they were.
They needed them.
And the price of the share goes up and down.
Yeah.
And after 2008, 9, 10, obviously people got into trouble, and we don't wish it on anyone, but the shares did go down.
Yeah.
And now I think I heard a record number the other day. I mean, it's
getting.
I don't know what to believe.
It's getting high.
I don't know what to believe. You mentioned Estrella Damm and tournaments and these things that it's a love-hate relationship with members, I think.
Yes,
because
it's not easy.
It's the course is closed for maintenance, and that's normal. But then when there was another lump of time, also during the nice time of the year. It's not going to happen again. It was just a 2-year deal, I believe. What did that do, Estrella Damm? You mentioned obviously giving us kudos and visibility.
Well, Valderrama has a 5-year contract with Estrella Damm, and after the 3rd year, Valderrama decides to sign with Live, and they still have 2 years year contract. And they needed a venue to organize the tournament. And going back again about our commitment with the destination, and obviously it was an opportunity to test the course after the big refurbishing that was done in 2015-16. The board thought that it was a unique opportunity, and we don't know if something is going to come in the future, another option like that, opportunity to get those 2 years contract and keep the tournament in Sotogrande. It was a very special year, 2023, because in 3 months' time we were hosting 20 minutes away a Solheim Cup, a Leaf Tour event in July, and in October it will be the DP World Tour across the street. That was probably you won't see that anywhere else in the world. I mean, to find those big events, 3 big events in 3 months time, and obviously we knew that to organize an event like that in Sotogrande, Real Club de Golf. Obviously, it's not in our ADN because we are more focused in the amateur champion tournament. But obviously, it was a fantastic opportunity to show the course to the world, because to go back to those rankings that we were 20 years ago, probably. And obviously, the first year we had a very bad weather. But the second year, with the presence of John Ram, Angel Hidalgo, the weather that we had, everything went up. I mean, it was amazing how the demand of new members grew, the demand of visitors asking for green fees, they went up, and obviously that exposure give us the obligations to keep the standards higher and higher. So, in my opinion, obviously our club is not prepared to have an annual event like that in a daily basis. But if I had to make a decision in the future, I would say this is perfect to have every 15 years to have a 2 years spot like that, because it gives you a light to the club, and you cannot imagine how the staff was with the energy that they had. Our staff is 40, 50 years old, and sometimes it's tough to keep them motivated. And suddenly from one day to another one, they look like teenagers working from 4 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. It was crazy. So I think we have a lot of good things to take from that.
What was it? I mean, when we go into the salon there, there's a picture of Ram as a kid.
Yeah.
And now Ram as, you know, number one in the world, and then now Lev and whatever he is, I don't know. Did you manage to talk to him about how the course had changed over time, or Sotogrande, or was he just in and out?
No. I know John Ram and Sergio, because I used to play with him, and Sergio was here in Live Tour last year, and we do certain events, private events with them at the week of the Live. And obviously is a special place for them to come back. When you talk to John Ram, I don't know if people know, John Ram lost the Copa Sotogrande, the European Nations Cup, in the last 7 holes. He was leading by 6 or 5, 6.
I noticed he hasn't got a yellow jacket. He's got a blue jacket.
He doesn't have, and he has a
thing about it.
He has a thing about it. He could tell you exactly shot by shot how he was feeling that day after he hit the second shot in 12 into the water. So he's something that when last year he decided to come here to play the DP World Tour, the Estrella Damm, he really came with the energy to win, because he left something that year. Okay. He got in second place, and obviously he want his name close to Rory and close to Sean Laurie and close to Harrington and all those big names that he's not there anymore. So, and you know, he's a history golf man, and same as for Sergio. Sergio, the first thing he did when he came to the club last year was take a picture in the members' room with his yellow jacket, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. No, it's great to see these guys come. Any other notable players ever come? I mean, we're talking about Ram, who's been number one in the world. We're talking about Sergio, who's won Augusta. I mean, those are very notable people. But I noticed, what's the name? The guy that won the US the year before.
Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark. He was there. But have we had the Tigers played there, presumably? Or
no, Tiger didn't play here. Matt Kuchar played the first year in the Estrella Damm. Wyndham Clark. Albert Ludwig come here quite often. We have a lot of players who are around the area, and obviously with the Live close to in July, they are around here, and they always ask to, and even more the players who play here, the Copa Sotogrande. They love to come here and show the place to their families, to their girlfriends. They come to have a coffee in the terrace, and obviously tell them when they were 16 or 20 they were playing here as amateur. It's a special place for them. It's most of them, they play one of the last big tournaments in their amateur career before turning pro. And you know how we organize that event. It's something special for them.
How many years has that been going on now?
Since 1970.
Wow.
It's a big start with Copa Jerez. Then he turned as a European Nations Cup. First of all, it was an individual tournament. Then he turned as a European Nations Cup. And it's an amazing event. It's a very special event for the club. It's probably the biggest event organized directly by one club, because we don't have any other type of help from any federations or sponsor. It's just organized by us. We send a mail to the different golf federation in Europe, and if they want to sign in, they sign. And it's amazing to see more than 30 teams every year.
It definitely will hit me if I don't ask you. The girls, I mean, the girls also go on. I mean, Carlota won it. You know, and any other girls that won it have become.
Well, the last one that I can remember is Helen Brehm. Is a German girl who won 2 years ago, and absolutely you could see that she's going to be a star. The first tournament that she played as a pro, she won.
Oh wow!
Then the Spanish Open last year in Guadalhorce, she got second after Carlota. So you could see that a lot of
Yeah.
big names they come up, and I'm sure from Spanish players, very soon we will see a lot of them.
We had a client. He's Swiss, and the boy is 10.
Mm-hmm.
He played off the reds with Stephanie, and he went 11 over.
Wow,
And
that's
he
impressive.
is number 2 in Switzerland, and he's in the top 10 in Europe for his age group.
From his age.
Yeah, and whether they're going to buy here or not, I don't know. I think they might because he's going to be in the school.
Uh-huh.
But you know, he is exceptional.
Amazing.
I mean, this boy was hitting it longer than Stephanie, and you know, he's big. You know, he was incredible.
Well, to do those scores in Sotogrande is not easy, for a little
A
kid.
boy off the Reds,
it's-
and he was 11. I mean, I was marking his card. And what was incredible about him, and I think it was great, is that he had his own card, and we're playing his Stephanie and him against his father and I as a match play, and he had all the scores. He knew who was up.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. I mean, he knew the protocols. You know, he wouldn't walk on someone's line. He'd walk around.
They
them.
are so mature, and that's what the golf, in my opinion, brings to youth. Character, to know how to fail, and that's you fail most of the times. You win really a small amount of times, and that's fantastic for them.
That's why I love the rugby tournament that was going on at the weekend. You know, these kids come from all over Spain. They knock each other over.
No.
It's character building. It's all about life.
And then
you know?
they're friends.
Yeah, of course. You're going to have a drink, which is great. So we talked about some famous players and stuff. Looking ahead, what's there for Real Club? More of the same, more generations.
Well, I think right now is we need to go back a little bit to slow down because we did a lot of things in a short period of time. Obviously, the 2 DP World Tour years tournament consumes a lot of energy, generate some obviously not easy situation for members. I think we need to go back to the normal routine. As you know, we don't stop doing investment in the different facilities on the course. We just refurbish the gym, the pool area. Now we are doing the old cafeteria at the bottom of the clubhouse. We are refurbishing.
The bridge room.
The bridge room, the car room, is going to be brand new in 1 month.
That'll be right for me because from golf I'm going to croquet. From croquet I'm going to bridge.
That's bridge and a little bar. We're going to generate
a little bar. That's
so. That's I think is we need to go back a little bit to give a little clinch to the old. That was the old cafeteria where the course was. So we have a lot of investment still ahead of us, but the idea is obviously to go back a little bit to the normal pace, and you know the demand is great, and the atmosphere on the club, and keep working in the social activities with dinners and Andalusian fiestas that we organize. So it's one of the values that obviously differences from the different golf courses is how. The social atmosphere that we have all year round right now.
Oh, well, there is. I mean, with all due respect to a drama, you can be there on a Thursday night and there's nobody there. I mean, it's just because the members
it's a different product, and completely. Both of them can live together, and they are fantastic. But obviously, if you are looking for a social life and get to know more people and get involved in the golf tournament, men's and ladies tournaments during the week, Sotogrande Real Club de Golf is the place, obviously.
What do you know about the Almenara, the new golf academy they're doing there?
Well, actually, I was this morning with Manolo Piñero, and I've got a program visit next Friday. To tell me all the details from that infrastructure and facility. I think is fantastic for the area. Obviously for the hotel it will be very helpful, but to bring back and give back to the local society, what gave us, because most of our staff are from this area, and most of them play golf. It's fantastic. I think I didn't see a place in Spain where where golf is so integrated in the society, and that's fantastic.
Well, that's because I think golf is one of the first things that came to Sotogrande, you know, as it built up, and you know, as you probably heard, I was talking to Alvaro Quiros, and he from Guadiaro, his father was you know, in golf, and you know, it was a golf course. It was the first public golf course in Spain. So you know, this place is a golf. I don't know what the word is, but
it is.
you know,
it is.
And
that's great. That's great.
Golf.
Wherever you go, you can speak about golf.
But I really like the idea. I mean, I was talking to Rita from Sotogrande SA. She's saying that the idea is to allow, particularly women who get a bit intimidated, to go to a golf course and, you know, start going on the course, even though they're learning.
Definitely.
There they can go. They're out of the way if they want to be out of the way. It's not going to be super expensive. Obviously, it'll be a cost but it would be affordable costs from what I understand. You know, you'll have some way of learning. There'll be a trackman there if you want, and you know, you'll get on with it.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and they're gonna have a huge demand of people, different type of youth, women, as you said. And obviously they're gonna do a fantastic job helping the local society to get involved even more in this sport.
That's fantastic. Going back to Real Club, and this is the question that all members are saying, well, the green fee players are here, the green fee players are here. How does that work? I mean, I remember when it wasn't an issue, and suddenly it is an issue, and it's just because of the popularity of the course, presumably people want to come on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a misunderstanding because obviously the volume of visitors right now is 20% less than we have 5 years ago. We have, as you know, 1 hour gap that we can sell from Monday to Friday out of season, obviously, and those 80 times. Before they were difficult and they were tough to sell. Obviously, after a great job and intense job in a commercial point of view to take this product to the main tour operators in the world, and obviously I come from a touristic area and industry, so it was easy for me to say, guys, I've got this product, look what I had before, with all the respect, and now I've got this. So right now it's very easy to sell those 7 spots that we have in a daily base. What we are selling is much more higher price, but with less amount of players. I don't know, obviously for the members, wherever they see a group of people with the same shirts, and it might be 12 of them, that's 40 times. Obviously they generate certain uncomfortable, no? They feel well, we are selling, that's what we sell. We sell 7-8 times max from
Someone
Monday
told
to
me
Friday.
it's a legal obligation for every club to have an hour open. Even Valderrama, they open for an hour. It's not illegal.
No.
Okay.
No, you can be a private club and you don't sell green fees, but
like Willie Nelson, he's a professional. He plays off scratch.
Sorry?
Willie Nelson. The singer. He plays off scratch. He's about 80 years old. But on his course, he's got a par 15. He's got a par 6. He's got a par 10. He just puts the number.
Whatever they need.
Yeah.
No, it's obviously is a balance that we need to have. Obviously, it would be fantastic for the members to don't see anybody from outside, but in our case, we need that income to balance our economic financial situation. So it's something that we need to work, and our idea is very clear: is to keep rising rates and decreasing the volume of visitors. In order to get the final goal, the budget.
And so that's, you think you need those green fees to actually make it?
We need that in our balance.
Tell me, why would it not be okay to put the fees up by 500 euros per member? Or is that going to cause a riot?
We could,
or whatever the number is.
No. We could. obviously, our club is not comparable to Valderrama. There are 300, 400 members. We are 2,500. Many of them, they don't come to the club since, I don't know, just the 27% play golf. Imagine, just the 20% of our members.
27%.
27% play golf. The rest, they just come to enjoy the restaurant. That is one of our big leg. We have two big assets from the club. Obviously, the course is one of the main assets, but we didn't talk about the quality restaurant and culinary that we have in our club.
Best restaurant in Sotogrande.
No doubt, no doubt.
Best restaurant, yeah.
So many of our members are members to be able to come to the restaurant and enjoy it. How would be the effect if we raise those annual fees? Is difficult to determine how many members will leave the club if we raise 1,000 euros or 500, whatever. It's more of a policy and vision from the board.
Keep them low.
Yes. This is a bit right now. I don't know if other boards they will have another vision. But obviously this is a family club. A lot of families, a lot of members. They are not on their own, like might be Valderrama. There are the couple and then 3-4 kids. So that's a lot. There is no just one annual fee. They are joining another 3 or 4 annual fee. Right now the vision is to remain it obviously the way it is. The way it has been the whole history. It's not that we are doing different that it is. Probably we are one of the cheapest course in an annual base. Something different is to get in, but once you are in an annual base is obviously probably the cheapest one.
I mean, I've been a member in San Roque, I've been a member in La Reserva, and one of the main reasons I want to be down below is because I can walk the course.
Yeah.
And as I get older, that will be my sport. Although I've got a problem knee at the moment, and I did a calculation then with the fee or the share I had at the time and the entry fee at the time. On a 10-year window, it was cheaper to try and get into Sotogrande than to be in San Roque or La Reserva.
No doubt.
And then you had a share at the end.
You can sell it. You can. Yeah, and obviously the short course is an extra value. Amazing.
Totally.
That's why you see members. Yesterday I played 2 holes with a lady who was 92.
Oh wow!
So it's and I took my boy, my little Iago. I said, Iago, come with me. We're gonna play. This is my aspiration, to get into the 90s and still be able to play the short course. It's fantastic, and that's what Sotogrande offers you.
Well, my father's 94, and he stopped playing about 4 years ago. And his 4-ball, as he stopped getting, couldn't play. He played on his own, and the other 3 walked with him.
That's it.
And he played with his previous week's card. So it was just
it's fantastic.
The camaraderie, everything else. Excellent. Just a couple of few more little questions, if you don't mind. Which is your favorite hole on the course?
Favorite hole? I think number 7 is something special. Number 7, the tee, the second shot, a bit short in my opinion, but it's always tricky.
Anything down
when it's a little bit windy, you get crazy.
Oh, I know. And which is the toughest?
The toughest, I will say also I love 16 after refurbishing. I think 16 hole is the hole who improved the most after the refurbishing of the big restoration of 2015-16.
Most people say that the 8th they spoiled it.
I like the way it is.
I never knew it before.
I like the way it is right now. In my opinion, it was very high, and I rather the way it is right now.
Okay.
But 16 is the one who changed the most, in my opinion. 7 is special, and the toughest, number 4. Number 4 from the back tees is a challenge. It's great, and when you sit down there in the Copa Sotogrande or big tournament, you see they are having a nightmare. and even more with wind. But yeah.
You mentioned the restaurant being very good. What's your favorite lunch order there?
My favorite lunch order. Lately, they never had it. I would say merluza con arroz y chipirones.
Oh,
Love it, but they never have it.
They never have it.
I always say, and I saw it the other day in suggestion. I say, I got it finally. I say, no, we ran out of.
Oh no!
I say, I can't believe it. So I recommend.
Which course in the world would you like to play that you haven't?
Oh, it's easy for me. I come from Augusta 1 month ago. Augusta National, no doubt. I never thought an event would impact me so much as what I saw in Augusta. It was the first time. I spoke with a lot of colleagues who were there, and nobody told me, oh yes, they told me that was great, but I never felt that enthusiasm the way I felt when I stepped into Augusta. It was something.
Were you in a box or were you just like a public?
No. I had the chance to go with a VIP invitation that I never step in because I was so amazed from what I saw outside that I never get into the VIP room that I had. But it's something I think is talking about values, talking about taking care of the history, how the members. They were talking to the crowd outside the clubhouse with their green jacket on, and willing to explain you whatever you were asking without phones for one day. It was amazing. No electronic devices, nothing. It was everything is.
And you only keep score by watching the boards.
Just listening crowds and. We forgot how much we are losing with those electronic devices. To spend one day without a phone. I had the chance to go with my son that he's studying in the US, and I had them through Sergio. They sent me a second ticket, and to spend the whole day talking to him and to the crowd, because when you wait. You don't have anything to do but talking to talk, and it was fantastic and it's amazing. So coming back with those atmosphere, going to Sotogrande, say we need to preserve those values because it's such an important piece of our club and our history. I totally support things that some people say. Why do I have to wear a collar in the dining room? For goodness sake, if that's your problem. You got no problem in the world. Yes,
you know.
Yes. Those are the little things that it's easy to forget when you are in a management, and this is our duties as managers, is to don't accept certain things that from the beginning they are clear. Don't talking on the phone inside. Don't wear a hat. Those little things that. It's easy, but you need to fight. You need to every time you be on top of the waiter, on top of the every staff. That don't forget what we are and our values, and over the order that the board tell us. Huh?
Yeah, Koska, thank you so much. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you wished I had asked you?
I think we cover most of it. It's fantastic. I think you just to congratulate you, to you and Steph, because you do an amazing job besides your job, but to face and to show what Sotogrande is, not just selling houses, but the final product, but the whole experience, no? And in my old job, that's what we're trying to do. No, we sell much more than a product. We sell a way of living, get to know people, and at the end is the experience, is a life experience. And I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you very much. That's a wrap. And everybody out there, thank you for listening. And please, if you wouldn't mind, do hit the subscribe button, because it does help us an awful lot here at the podcast. Thank you. Goodbye. See you next time.